All right, welcome to another experiment, I guess, is what we're going to do today. This is Jamie with Social Bee Designs, and I want to just share with you exactly how I'm getting into the fun craft of sublimation. So, using equipment that I have. Okay, so let me show you this amazing ornament that I made for teacher appreciation from our PTO. It's two-sided. Isn't that great? Super fun. So I'm gonna give you, I'm gonna give you a little rundown here of how exactly I'm doing this. So first of all, you can use any program. You can use Silhouette Design Studio or whatever they call it. Cricut Design Studio. I can't remember the name, but I have both the Cameo and the Cricut. Okay, and I prefer using the Cricut, but I do prefer designing with the Silhouette software because I just have more options, and it's reminiscent really of Adobe products. It really is. There's a lot of tools and a lot of things that make it really exciting to use. But I've used Cricut Design Space many times. It's just, it doesn't let you print quite as big of area. And, but you can use anything. You can even just print it out from like Microsoft Word. It doesn't have to be any special program. And I'm using this page as an example because when I printed it, you can see I printed it on the wrong side. So this is a sub paper. I can't say that it's my preferred paper. It just works really well, and it's the first brand that I bought. I get it on Amazon, and it's readily available. So that's why I picked that. Now, when you look at this, the colors are not very bright when it prints out on sublimation, with sublimation ink, I should say. But when you transfer it, it's gorgeous. So where does the experiment come in? Well, normally when you do this, you press this with a big heat press. Now, I do have that, but because most of the items I make are 1 item, 2 items, 5 items, it takes forever for my heat press to warm up. And I have a Cricut Easypress because, of course, I'm always sewing. But with the Cricut Easypress, I got this beautiful of result. So I don't even need to fire up the big heat press. And I'm going to show you exactly what I do. So I designed this, and they're equal amounts apart. Obviously, it's just 2 images. But if you fold it in half, the images line up perfectly. So what does that mean? I'm going to press it the front and back at the same time. You do not need to do 2 presses. So here's our coasters. They come, I should show you that. They come like this. And they have, there's a sticky plastic that you have to take off, like protection cover, on both sides, because these are 2-sided printable. So you can imprint on both sides. So you have to take the plastic off both sides, and then you have this. Okay, there's really not a right or wrong side. They're both the same, really. And what I do is I put just a little bit of a bleed area. This is a 3-inch ornament, and my square is 3.5 inches. It's not centered. It is dropped down a little bit to compensate for the hole. Okay, so we're just going to line this up. Actually, I'm going to line it up on this side. And close to the bottom. Equal amounts on each side. Can you see that? I don't know. Let me zoom in a little bit. Equal amounts on both sides. So it's kind of a faint distressed wood look, but I really like it. And when you do the distressed wood look or background, it really helps, even if it's not perfectly centered or the proportions are just a little bit off, it really helps when you have a background to make it all look even and cohesive. So the one thing you want to do is to make sure that your hole is centered really well at the top, okay? And then you can just flip it over and just, you can kind of feel, and I can see that my image is all the way through there. I protect my surface with a piece of craft paper. There's not a ton of ink to this design, so I'm not getting any bleeding through, so I'm just using the same piece over and over. I'm using one of my wool pressing mats with a silicone pad. I don't know if that's why I'm getting such great results, but it's been working really beautifully for me. So I have my heat press set at 385. Right now I'm just gonna warm, I haven't pressed any yet this morning, so I'm just gonna warm this up for just a few seconds. I don't think it matters because I did press one cold, but you know, a little bit of prevention. So, I mean, it heats up fast. Okay, so we're gonna bring our ornament back over, make sure the alignment is still like pretty on here. Okay, looks really good. Really good. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but see, it's a thin aluminum ornament, which is part of the reason I think it presses so well with this. In my Easypress, it's pretty heavy, so I'm just gonna put that straight down and put my timer on. I'm gonna hold on to it, but I'm really not putting a ton of pressure on it. And I could probably do a few ornaments at a time. I've done 2, because I need to make 44 of these, but I've done 2 at a time and they both turn out beautifully. I only have 6 spares on hand and they're really hard to get your hands on right now. You know, it would take at least 5 days to get more. So I don't want to push my luck, but if I had a handful, like, or maybe 2 handfuls, if I had at least 10 extras, I would probably risk it. But since I don't have very many spares, I don't really want to mess any up. And I have ideas for gifts for the other ornaments that I have left, the other 6. So I really just want to take my time and get good presses with these, which is why I didn't feel the need to fire up my big machine in the first place. And I kind of wanted to see if this would work. Okay, and we've got like 8 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So, it's very hot, so be careful. And you just flip it off. And look at, it's the perfect ink transfer. See how much ink it took out? Almost, I mean, so much of it. It's wonderful. And then you can, whoop. Yeah, see, that's why I guess I should have pre-pressed my wool mat, because see, that holds a little bit of moisture in, but it protects my surface. Like, my surface is not gonna, usually you don't want moisture when you're pressing the sublimation. And if it were a shirt, it could really affect the coloring. So, I don't know, the wool press mat's probably not the ideal thing. I think a big silicone mat would work better. I just don't happen to have one, so I'm only using what I have on hand, and you know what? It's working. So throw this away. You could try to reuse it, but you're not going to get the beautiful color with this, especially the background, and you don't want to line it up perfectly. Throw that away. I know some people try to get more prints out of it, but it's really not worth it. So I just put it over here. My table is pretty resilient, so I'm not too worried about that. And Oh, and if you're using something with a lot of ink, or you get a lot of bleeding with your particular paper, put a piece of craft paper in between there and use a new piece every time. So, all right, I'll do one more with you. And then I have some more really fun experiments coming up. Because I really love working with sublimation. It's somewhat quick and gratifying. This project took me a little bit longer because I wanted the design to be like amazing. And knowing that I had to do so many of them, I took my time in designing it with the perfect space in between there so I could do the front and back at the same time, or hoping that if I did the front and back at the same time, it would work. So we're just going to do 80 more seconds. And while we're doing that, if you follow me on Facebook, we do these coffee chats, and we have a really good time. And I'm experimenting with different materials all the time. Here's the bracelet that if you watch the coffee chat, but the bracelet I was embroidering, and we had so much fun talking about metallic thread, and I thought it was my machine, and it turned out just to be me. So a lot of times you can still use your own equipment that you already have and create a lot of these projects that you see everybody else working on. The ornaments I got from, I'll put a link up, but I got these from Coastal Business. I highly recommend them. They shipped, I'm in the Midwest. I think they're in the Midwest because I ordered it and 2 days later it was at my door on a Saturday of all days. And they come with these ribbons. So it's already pre-cut to the perfect hanging size, and you don't even need to do that. So double bonus. And we're done. All right. You want to get that paper off relatively fast. You know, you can wear heat-proof gloves, or you could use a pair of tweezers. I usually have a pair of tweezers right here, but I didn't when I started the video. So, oh well. But if you don't take your paper off really fast, you tend to have a lot of ghosting, which would be kind of like a shadow built in. Isn't that perfect? Perfect. Done both sides at the same time with the Easypress. So you do not need a huge machine. Now, what I was going to say is that I have the Easypress too, so it does go up to the 385 for 80 minutes. You could do this with the Easypress 1 and do it for and it would be an experiment, but try 100 seconds, or not 80 minutes, 80 seconds, obviously. Try 100 seconds at 365 and leave me a comment and tell me if it worked. When I get to my other project, I don't want to mess any of these up. Like I said, I don't want to waste too many of these, but I might try something else with the 365 and do the 100 seconds. So, all right, guys, if you love this, let me know. If you want to see some more experiments, let me know that too. Okay, have fun. Have a good day. Happy crafting.